What is the current state of the Nebraska Cornhusker quarterback room? Well, let's talk about it. Because you got Casey Thompson, according to his father at least, expected to run that back for another year in Lincoln. Then you also got Jeff Sims, who said, you know what, I want to hit the portal from Georgia Tech and make my way to Nebraska as well. So now you got two quarterbacks, both with a lot of ability, that are going to be in the same quarterback room. So who's QB1? Right? There's going to be a quarterback derby that will, in my opinion, go into fall camp and be decided in fall camp. But what's the status of this whole operation? Well, let's start with Jeff Sims, because that's one person that Nebraska fans are, for good reason, really excited about. Transferred from Georgia Tech, like I mentioned, over 20 games of experience, over 1,000 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns passing, 23 interceptions. You say, not crazy about that 23 interception number next to that 30 touchdown number. That's not great. But when you talk about Jeff Sims, the word that comes to mind is tools. Like over 6'3", 220, 215 pounds, dude's a unit. And he's got a lot of things that you just straight up can't teach. You don't get to teach someone how to have a big arm. You don't get to teach athleticism. You don't get to teach 6'3". Those are things you're just born with, man. Those are things that God just gives you. And Jeff Sims has got all those things in spades. A lot of tools. So you say, okay, a lot of tools, but what's up with those numbers at Georgia Tech? I mean, he had a lot of good things he did, like I already mentioned, but he also 23 interceptions. Didn't exactly flourish, didn't exactly find himself in any Heisman conversation. That's fair. Here's the thing I would say for Nebraska fans that I think lends itself to some optimism. Anytime you have a ton of tools and a ton of talent, like a guy like Jeff Sims has, but you're not able to have the best production or have the results that you want, I think you look a little bit at the system. That's not to knock Georgia Tech, but if you are a talented student, all the gifts in the world academically, tons of intelligence, you're brilliant, right? But you get in the classroom and you repeatedly fail test after test or don't necessarily get the results that you want. Well, some of that then you point back to the curriculum. You point back to the teacher. And so it's not to say it's all on the teacher, because to the same token, the student still has to execute and still put forth the effort to succeed. But I would be very curious, I am very curious rather, to see how Jeff Sims does in this new offense. They're going to ask the quarterback to be a dual threat and run the football effectively as well as throwing the football effectively. And with his tools, if he can be in the right system at Nebraska, they can put him in position to succeed, have a different curriculum for him. I think that could be a match made in heaven at the end of the day at Nebraska. So keep an eye on that with Jeff Sims. If you haven't yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, the On3 YouTube channel, and followed us here at the Hard Count, we'd love to have you along for the ride. We've had over 3,000 of you, Nebraska Cornhusker faithful, come and jump on board with us this season, and we're so glad you're here. If you haven't yet subscribed, haven't joined the party yet, no worries, no time like the present. Portal season evidently turning up. Signing day around the corner. Want you here, want you along for the ride. Make sure you're subscribed. Also, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, because we do a lot of interaction there that we can incorporate into this program. It's the People Show. It's a great medium for us to get in contact, have some back and forth, add to this community, if you catch my drift. Roll, party, roll. Now, Casey Thompson, according to his father, is expected to run that back turbo and get back to Lincoln for another season. Casey Thompson expected to have some work done on that old shoulder, but should be, according to his dad, ready for summer and into fall camp, be good to go. Also worth noting, his father said Casey was the starter a year ago. He expects to come back and be the starter. Now, I wouldn't go as far to say Casey Thompson expects to just walk in and be handed the job. I think he knows he has to earn that, but there's probably a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Casey Thompson, for all the things that he did well a season ago, 17 touchdowns, also had 10 interceptions. I don't think that tells the whole story for Casey Thompson. I think he's got a ton of ability as well. I think his offensive line didn't do him a ton of favors. 63% completion percentage is the number that I'm encouraged by if I'm a Nebraska Cornhusker fan evaluating Casey Thompson. It means he knew where to go with the football. It means he was accurate with the football. Now, the 10 interception number, like I said, there's more to that. I don't want to read into that too much. In this new system, though, I think it could play more to his skill set. Because What Casey Thompson does so well, similar to Jeff Sims, but in a different way, runs the football well. Like Casey Thompson is a little bit of a load to bring down, to be honest with you. I mean, he doesn't go down easily on contact. And so with this new system under Marcus Satterfield, I think that could play to his strengths a little bit more. And if they can do some more things around him, especially in the trenches, it's going to help all the quarterbacks. But Casey Thompson, I think especially, will benefit from this new system with being able to run the football more. Now, looking at that Iowa game, that's what I think you saw. He has it under the hood. 3 touchdowns passing, no interceptions, 278 yards against a good Iowa Hawkeye defense. Similar to what we said with Jeff Sims talking about tools, it's not a question for Casey Thompson about, man, does he have it? Does he have the juice? He's shown you he does on multiple occasions. But the issue is, can we be consistent around him? And can Casey Thompson consistently execute to where we can be as good as we need to be as a football program? Now, Matt Rhule, his whole thing is process. Typically operates right around a 3-year plan, could be 2 years with the transfer portal. But the bottom line I'm trying to communicate here is it's going to be a process. It's going to take some time. By definition of a process, it takes some time. So with that being said, just keep an eye on how quickly this whole thing comes together and how quickly they do get the personnel in there. With that being said, though, Casey Thompson, with him expected to return, his whole fight for this job will happen in fall camp, again, according to what his dad said. So here's how I see this whole competition shaking out. It's going to go to fall camp. Casey Thompson's not going to get the reps in spring ball, it sounds like, with what he's doing with his shoulder, and that's fair. That's fine. He was the starter a season ago, so you have some goodwill there. You're not questioning about, what can Casey Thompson do for Nebraska? You're questioning that to a degree, but you've seen it. Jeff Sims is kind of the more unproven commodity to that respect for Husker fans. You're excited to see him get out there and sling it in fall camp. But here's what I want you to pay attention to. Don't get too caught up in who throws the best football or who looks the best in pads or who makes the most, flashy plays. What this battle will come down to is 2 things. First, who can move the offense? It sounds simple, but that's kind of the nature of the deal. It's not who can go out there in shorts and a t-shirt and sling it and who's the higher draft pick. Who can pick up first downs, even if that's just handing the ball and checking us into a run play and being able to pick up 4 yards on 3rd and 5, or 6 yards on 3rd and 5, 4 yards on 3rd and 5, maybe another conversation. You hear what I'm saying. It's about moving your unit consistently down the field, picking up the sticks every single time, getting points. It sounds simplistic, but we consistently, just as people, fall victim to the optics. Man, that spiral was tight. Man, you see that throw he made in traffic, rolling to his right, throwing to his left. That's cool. I'm here for the highlight plays. I'm all about it. But what wins you football games is consistency and moving your unit down the field. So not even the best quarterback, but who can be the best field general down the field consistently. The second piece of this, who can keep from making that crucial mistake? Nebraska Cornhusker fans, you know this better than anybody, man. It's unfortunate, but it's true. There's been multiple crucial mistakes. I mean, I can't even count how many times that's happened to this Nebraska program. It's been one throw here, one turnover there, one interception there, and that's cost you a fair amount of wins to this point in your fanhood over the last 2 years at least. Who can keep from just giving the game away? This offense under Marcus Satterfield, there's going to be some explosive plays that occur. A lot of it, though, will be just what I said, staying ahead of the sticks. The quarterback run game, picking up 7 when you need 6, hitting the open man on that slant route, not making the superhero play, but making the right play. Who can make the most right plays is who's going to win this job. The good news is you have 2 guys with a lot of ability. You're not hoping and praying that one of these guys ends up, finding something development-wise this offseason and making a huge leap forward. I mean, you are, but you're not questioning if they can do it. It's a matter of, okay, who will do it? Who's going to consistently do it? And that's going to be all the difference for Nebraska in 2023. You know it and I know it. The Big Ten West, it's winnable. It is right there for the taking. For Matt Rhule, if I know anything about him, having been in his program, guy's a winner. Knows how to win, knows how to revamp programs. I'm excited to see him do it in Lincoln. That's it for us here in the Hard Count. We appreciate you rocking with us. We appreciate you being subscribed. If you haven't already, like I said, come join the party, y'all. We want you here, man. It's a community. Come join the community. Also, follow me on the socials, because that's one way we help build this community, one way we help have a medium to have a back and forth. I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm not a hot take artist. I'm not going to throw these things at you for headlines and clicks. Not how we get down around here. So I'm going to give you my opinion. That's a great medium for us to get your opinion involved into this program. We appreciate you. We love you. Nick Brake, lifting heavy. This is your operation. This is the People's Show. Roll party. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.